We have the pleasure of speaking with Quincy France. Quincy was born right here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. He currently resides in New York and is an independent personal trainer. Quincy, it's great to have you on Good Morning SKN. Welcome.
Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So happy to be here.
Wow, I gotta say, first of all, I'm loving that shirt. I'm loving that you're representing it. Q France Wellness LLC, and that is a bicep that is what? Shaping the world at the bottom of it. Okay, you're gonna have to explain that for us, first of all. What is the image that I'm seeing below there?
So it's a timer, pretty much a clock and a bicep. So the time you put into it will give you maximum results, basically. And of course, it's almost a superhero symbol, like a Superman symbol. So you have to be your own superhero.
So Quincy, can you tell us, when did your fitness journey begin?
Well, I mean, I think it started at a very young age. I knew I was going to be, I wanted to be an athlete. You know, my uncle played for St. Kitts. He played basketball for St. Kitts. So at a young age, I saw him playing sports, and my father was into martial arts. And I knew I wanted to be an athlete. So to become an athlete, you have to train. So I was always active. You know, I wanted to be the fastest person. I wanted to be the strongest person. So I played a lot of sports in school. And but for me to become a trainer, it took somebody to come up to me and ask me, hey, how can I get arms like yours or a chest like yours? And they asked me to train them. And I started training them with my knowledge of just bodybuilding from family members and just my general fitness lifestyle. But I went and started studying and learning how to teach people to become healthier, stronger, and more, you know, move better. And that started my journey. And that was over 20 years ago.
Over 20 years ago, wow. So that's a wealth of experience wrapped up in the Q France t-shirt right there. So let's talk about the workout. You mentioned sports, and from my limited understanding of that, it seems to me that when we have to undertake training people, we train them for their specific sports. So I imagine that you have a wealth of experience. You've listed some of the sports that you've been involved in. In terms of any workout that would be a favorite one of yours, or perhaps even the most rigorous and most challenging, what stories do you have to tell us?
Oh, definitely calisthenics, which is, I'm an advocate for calisthenics, which is body weight training. The fact is, you don't need a bunch of equipment to get results. All you need is space. You need enough space to get down on the floor and get back up. The only additions you need is something to pull and additional weight. The additional weight can be a bottle or a brick, anything. So I specialize in utilizing limited amount of equipment. So clients reach out to me and say, okay, can we train in the gym? And I will take them in the gym just to get that experience out of their way, and then take them to a park and probably give them the most rigorous training they've ever had without using any equipment, just to show them that you don't need the equipment. You just have to have a good sense of movement. So when the client first comes to me, I start with them, not what the books tell me, not what I've seen in the past or anything like that, but that general person. You have to treat every single person differently. So you have to see how they move first. You don't tell them, okay, let's do squats, when you realize that their hips are too tight and they have back injuries and all of these things, and throw weights on them. So it makes me kind of upset when I see a lot of people doing different rigorous exercises like CrossFit and things like that. Not to knock on those modalities, but it's not for everybody. And you're probably not ready to do those things in that moment. You need to understand what you're capable of doing before you start your journey. So I start them there first. I see what they can do, and then we build on that.
Oh, that's great. And I love the fact that you take them out of the gym, you know, because yeah, that's great.
Yeah, because again, the gym isn't necessary. The gym just adds additional tools for you to use.
Okay.
It's good to know. All right.
So with that said, how important it is to have a conversation with your client prior to training them?
Oh, absolutely. Very, very important. And in those conversations, you start to realize that a lot of people, they have a false sense for motivation. They'll come to me because they want to look like me or somebody else. And that's the beginning of your failure. You can't be anybody else but yourself. So I always tell them to look at a picture of themselves in the past that they used to, when you, what is it, like on social media, you have Throwback Thursdays. So they'll put up an old picture of themselves. Like, I remember when I fit into this dress, or I remember when my arms looked like this and when I was an athlete. That's what you should be aspiring to be, that previous look of yourself, because that is achievable. Trying to look like the bodybuilder that's 19 years old is probably not a good aspiration. Try to be the version of yourself. Or just, it's as simple as like, during the conversations, I'll hear them say like, I had problems walking upstairs. That's where you start. Continue to go up those stairs until you're not winded anymore. That's an achievement in itself.
Let's talk about your clientele. I asked you earlier during the break, of course, what your clientele looks like. Again, could you respond to that?
Yeah, so right now my clientele is low on purpose. I'm blessed to have a gym in the basement of the building where I live, where I take my clients. So I have maybe 2 clients that I see on a one-on-one basis. Everybody else that I see is usually in groups because I help host retreats and just fitness meetups and wellness events. I also teach yoga. So I see groups of people for yoga, and now it's getting warmer here in New York. So starting in about 2 weeks or so, I'll be teaching yoga to groups of people. And I also host calisthenic events competitions where people come and do the most pull-ups, push-ups, squats, burpees, and all these things. I'll be flying out to Las Vegas to broadcast these events with a company that I started with a good friend of mine called CCA, which is Competitive Calisthenics Association, LLC. And you can see that on YouTube also, the events that we host. It's all men, women, kids, they've been training all year to see who can win competitions for like the most pull-ups, push-ups, dips, burpees, and muscle-ups and advanced movements in like 2 minutes or a minute and a half or so. So that's what I'm focusing my attention on. We're also working on an event with ESPN in June in Atlanta that I'll be flying out to. So I'll be jumping on a plane a lot. Hopefully I actually want to see if I can make it back to St. Kitts and host one of these events. And I'll be trying to work something out with one of the hotels, see if we can do a nice little retreat back home.
That'd be great. That'd be terrific. Well, that segues into the other question, because we had a question about how you maintain your link with St. Kitts and Nevis, and clearly you're working to deepen that link with, your mention of reaching out to the hotels, so that's great. But on another level, how do you maintain your link with St. Kitts and Nevis?
Just my family that's still there. We communicate with them every once in a while. And the last time I was in St. Kitts, I believe it was 2018. It was a short trip. I was actually visited on a cruise. I was on a cruise, so one of the stops was in St. Kitts. So I spent the whole day with some family, driving around, visiting everybody. Just reaching out like that. But now that things are opening up more, I'm going to start reaching out and seeing how far we can take these retreats. And definitely home is one of the places I want to visit and see what the opportunity is like to host a retreat or just a wellness meetup and teach people my style of movement.
Great. When you're here, you got to stop by.
Absolutely.
So Quincy, guess what?
Uh-oh.
We got the video.
Yeah,
He said, uh-oh. So we are gonna take a look.
Yeah. Like.
Ooh, Quincy, we were watching video of you doing pull-ups in a playground. Oh, whoa.
Can you explain that type of pull-up? Because I see you jumping and holding on to the third bar of an extended part of the pull-up bar, I would say.
Okay, yeah, I'm just seeing it now just because of the delay. That move, a friend of mine invented. He calls it the elevator for obvious reasons, because you're going from the low to the high.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, but it's just an explosive. It's just an explosive pull-up. You know, just showing off the different level, the level of strength that's required. Actually, at that park, which is near my house, I actually tell people that if you come there, you have to try that in order to work out there, just to mess with them. But it's just displaying the explosive power of a pull-up, you know, the ability, because this whole thing with this body weight movement is you take it to as far as you can. You know, you start off trying to do a pull-up, and then you eventually, hopefully, are able to do something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not a young man. I'll be 50 this year, so I can still do this at almost 50.
That's great, man. That's great.
You don't look it.
Fountain of youth.
But it also intimidates a lot of my clients because they think immediately I'm going to force them to do something like this, which is absolutely not true. I'll start them off with, all right, let's see if you can touch your toes first.